What is going on, boys and girls? We are doing a way too early mock draft of the entire first round, so we're about week 14 ish in the NFL season. So, yeah, it's way too early. But so obviously Bryce Young, number one, Texans. That they're definitely drafting him. I don't see anybody else. Will Anderson, number two, easy enough to the Bears. I don't see them choosing anybody else. Now, Seattle, I don't think they have much of a need. Where are they here? They don't need a quarterback, in my opinion. I think, honestly, a big thing with Seattle is they need some O-line help. They're kind of high up to drop all the way down and draft Paris Johnson down here. They could use an edge, but I think they'll take Miles Murphy here. They need an edge. They could use the pass rusher. It's not as much of a reach. And, I mean, he's got to be a beast playing at Clemson. Detroit, I think if they truly end up at 4, there's no way they don't take C.J. Stroud here. Place Eric Goff without having to be terrible. Crazy to think the Eagles are this high. I don't even know what they need at this point. They need some more D-line help. Take yourself a Jalen Carter. Panthers, they need a quarterback ASAP. So Anthony Richardson, best out there. So go ahead and snag his butt up. The Jacksonville Jaguars are also in kind of a weird situation. I don't think they need a ton of. I think they need a Paris Johnson, and I think this is a great place to pick. I think they could also take a corner. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, they need corner. They need a line. I mean, this is a tackle, so not quite the O-line they need. But I think they could even possibly take Quentin Johnson here. But I think they go with Paris Johnson. The Cardinals, Cardinals got some certain issues, particularly on their defensive line side of the ball. I'm fairly certain corners got to be a need for them. They're underperforming in general sense. Yeah, quarterback number one need. No doubt they're taking him. Okay, the Colts, they need a quarterback. I know Levi, anyway, is hated. Has a ton of people, he's going to be a bust. But I don't think the Colts can pass. I think they have to draft him. The Falcons are in a weird spot. I think they're going to take Noah Swindell. I think they have to start rebuilding some of this defense. And I'm pretty sure linebacker is a big need. I don't know any linebacker on their team. No, it's not even listed. Huh. They need cornerback. Wow. I didn't think they could be so bad that they just need everything. Actually, wide receivers listed, which I don't think personally is. I mean, I could see wide receiver being needed. But then maybe they take Tyree Williams then if they need an edge. Green Bay, honestly, if they're drafting this high, they have to go take the best receiver available. There's just no doubt. I think that the Raiders definitely need this linebacker help. It says their linebackers aren't the worst. But anything defensively, if you got guys up here as high, Noah Swindell, welcome to the Raiders. The Texans having their early draft pick. Do they put a receiver to help out Bryce Young? Do they help try to rebuild their defense? I think they have to go to the receiver with Jordan Addison. I think there's just no doubt that they don't just go through and make that decision. Pittsburgh is kind of in one of those spots. I don't think they really need to rebuild their defense. Obviously, I don't think they're drafting a running back this high. Let's look at their needs. It's a lot of O-line. Yeah, their O-line's got to be falling apart. Let's go ahead and take a quick glance and see here. I mean, this is quite a reach to draft Peter here. Yeah, yeah, it's quite the reaches. So I don't think personally Pittsburgh's going to make that decision to reach that hard. I know quarterbacks on here, they don't need quarterback. They just drafted a rookie. So I think they're going to go with Joey Porter to add to their cornerback because it's a position of need that's not a line. They're going to have to fix that later on because there's just not going to be one this early on. Yeah, so Detroit getting back up here. I think the linebacker is going to be the easy pick. Let me make sure that's actually a need for Detroit. It's not. So, I think they got to go with Ryan here. They need defensive linemen. They got defensive linemen. The Chargers, jeez, they've been such a disorganized, dysfunctional team this year. I don't even know where to really help them here. I think honestly, I don't think lineman is the true need that they have here. Wide receiver, but there's not really much left early on. I don't think they need wide receiver enough to stretch to draft this guy. Cannot pronounce that. Cornerback, edge, linebacker. I think those make a ton of sense. I think they just go ahead and train Trenton Simpson here. The Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to be kind of an interesting one. Yeah, they don't care. I think if they really wanted to, they will reach for a guy, and let's see what their needs are. Wide receiver, corner. So I think the Patriots could. What was that? Anyway, the Patriots are very likely to not draft somebody early on, especially if they need a receiver, and they might not like this guy. You never know. I mean, they drafted some dude expected him like the 4th round last year, so I could very much see them reaching for Rashawn Rice here, which is crazy, but I think they could do that. Washington. So Washington's in a weird spot. I'm sure it's going to say quarterback, but they're not getting a good quarterback in this position, corner, safety. So I think they do continue to rebuild their defense. I think they're going to take Ryan Branch here. The Bucks, I think the Bucks are in a really tough spot. I think they're going to have to reach for a quarterback here. I think there's just no doubt they can't not draft one. I actually think there's a good chance, since Max Duggar is ranked this low, but he's really not that bad. I think they honestly go for it. I think they take him. Seattle back here again. I think Seattle. Who did I have them take earlier? An edge. I think Seattle will continue rebuilding their defense. Actually, I think they'll take this O-lineman here, Peter. I think they're going to quickly snag him up and help rebuild this O-line that's been known to be a problematic issue for them for the last few years. The Texans. Ooh. Or not the Texans, Titans. I said it right the first time. They're in an interesting spot. I think, honestly, they have to draft a lineman. That's why I think they're going to take Jones here. They just have to draft a lineman. The Jets. Their defense has performed really well, but I think they have to realistically take Michael Myers. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it doesn't say tight end there, but they don't have anybody as far as I know at tight end. The Giants, I think the Giants are in an interesting spot. If they're moving off of Daniel Jones, they have to take Hooker here. The Broncos. Problematic. I think, honestly, the best thing they do is just make their defense so good that they can afford to. So Cam Smith, welcome to the team. The Ravens, I think they're in an interesting spot. I think there's no way at this point with no solid lineman here. I think they have to take the receiver. The Bengals, I think the Bengals are going to just continue to try to rebuild this defense. Since there's, again, not really a lineman. Actually, yeah, they're going to take Cyrus. They need lineman help. Cyrus is there. It's not much of a reach. I think they will actually go through and take Cyrus there. The Cowboys. I think they will continue to rebuild this defense and continue to make them well. Let's see what their needs are before I draft one of these guys. Wide receiver. I don't know if wide receiver is that much of a need for the Cowboys. They have running back on here, which makes no sense. So, alrighty. I think they're going to take Christian Gonzalez at corner to continue rebuilding their whole defense. Kansas City, I think they will, without a doubt, go out and get themselves a nice edge rusher, an Isaiah Foskey. Minnesota, I think Minnesota's in an interesting spot. I think they're going to go defense. I think they're going to end up going with, I think defensive line is a decent issue for Minnesota. It's not listed, but I don't know. I think Minnesota will evidently take Dexter here. The Bills, I think there's no doubt they don't take Robinson. They have a ton of need for a running back. If Robinson can perform up to the par that he's at, I think that will be quite useful for him. And the Eagles taking the last pick. I think they continue to rebuild this defense by taking BJ, however you pronounce that. But that's it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty fair assessment early on here. Obviously, I don't know all of these players exactly and whatnot. I do know, obviously, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. If this is the draft order, I don't see the Bears or Seattle drafting one of these guys, so I think that would end up that way. The Panthers have to take a quarterback no matter what. They have to reach. I think so does the Colts. I don't think the Colts can't. I think the Packers have to take the receiver no matter what. The Patriots are going to make a weird draft, like always. Max, I mean, he's lowly rated, but, I mean, he is in the Heisman hunt. I don't know how he can be that lowly rated. I think they have to bring him. I think the Jets try to fill up some more offensive firepower. The Giants, if they're not keeping Jones, they have to draft somebody at quarterback. Henderson Hooker is the best that they had there. Ravens had to get a receiver. Bengals O-line must have been. And everybody else down here, I think, like, much can be swapped around. Bills, obviously, if this guy's out there, they need the running back. That's their biggest position in need. I think they will draft that. But thanks for watching.